Yesterday, there's been some movement, body language, as well as, very strong words by Mr. President in the person of President Bola Tinubu, who has indeed engaged or taken significant steps to addressing Nigeria's security challenges. I mean, the establishment of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, and even the military's successful operations against terrorists in the Northwest are very key developments in this effort. Now, Nigeria's security challenges, including insurgency, terrorism, banditry, have affected millions of citizens, and there's no gainsaying. I mean, this has made making these efforts by Mr. President very, very crucial, right? So the president has indeed put out efforts there to enhance national security in Nigeria. And that being said as well, President Bola Tinubu has signed a bill establishing the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu announced this development while it was attending a workshop on gender mainstreaming and preventing the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. Now, the center is also aimed to curb the proliferation of illegal arms, and it has a focus, on gender-sensitive approaches to disarmament and security policies. This is also to not to undermine the fact that, as you have also agreed, the fact that Nigerian military have indeed continually had some successes, and not just the military though, the Nigerian police. Remember yesterday, while I was, sending accolades and greeting pleasantries to each and every one of you, one of such that I did was to give kudos to the Nigerian police force. Indeed, we have seen them even in action, even with the little resources at their disposal. They still have been able to maneuver one way or the other, just to ensure that there is some peace, in the society, and we gave it to them. And yes, the military too has been doing quite a lot. But yeah, as we also had it earlier today, you have said that, look, the military needs to do more. We need to do more, and in the voice of T.Y. Danjuma right there, saying that, look, hey, as it is right now, that the military chiefs must come together to ensuring that, look, there's an end to banditry, there's an end to kidnapping, and all of that. But some also would coming from the place of T.Y. Danjuma, as a retired general who is really respected within the force. If you also have, what about collaboration? If you have some information, if you have a better tactics or ways that can, ensure that this banditry is being put, to rest once and for all, maybe you might as well want to come forward, to assist in the service chief or seven service chiefs right there, and pointing them in the right direction. Probably there's a gray area that they are missing in all of this. But yeah, just putting out words alone and not matching it with action may also seem as though you're just sitting in the fence or sitting on the other side of the fence and just dishing out words and instructions and your thoughts as to what you think should happen. But when you have the answers, so if you do have the answers, why not come forward and strike a collaboration deal if possible? But then the Nigerian military have neutralized wanted bandit leader Alilu Sububu and terrorist Sani Boki in joint operations in Katsina and Kaduna State, respectively. And they've also put out a notice right there telling each and every one of us that, look, Bello Turji will indeed be a thing of the past, as they are also closing in the ranks and ensuring that they caught him and get him this time, and that when they do, it will indeed play a significant role in all of the kidnappings, at least some of the kidnappings and, the banditry and the killings that's been going on right there unabated. Now, 13 kidnapped students were also freed in Kaduna State, where President Bola Tinubu commended the military's efforts, pledging sustained support for, to ensure peace and security as well as stability. Now, it will be very noteworthy, to also note the fact that the impact of these developments on Nigerians is very significant, especially, for instance, residents of Zamfara, Sokoto, and even other parts of Northwest can now feel safer with neutralization of Halilu Sububu. Right now, the establishment of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons also ensures a more coordinated approach to addressing security challenges. What would be the gains? Now, the gains from President Bola Tinubu's initiative to enhance national security in Nigeria would include short-term gains as well as long-term gains, as well as social gains, economic gains. There's quite a lot of gains, but then they will be contingent upon the effective implementation and sustainability of the initiative. So it's one thing to say that you're putting down an initiative right there that will indeed become some sort of supervisor to every other, military combined effort in ensuring that we have an insecurity-free society. Even if we can't have it told in totality, but at least it should be reduced to this barest minimum. But there are some thoughts, that also follow through. Some of the stakeholders, would be Noor Ribadu, who happens to be National Security Advisor. He emphasized the importance of gender mainstreaming in preventing the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. President Bola Tinubu commended the military's efforts, pledging sustained, support. And of course, Johnson Kukumo, National Coordinator of the NCC SALW, highlighted the center's achievements. Well, similar to some of these initiative by Mr. President, we've seen efforts to establish national centers for small arms control, even in South Africa, in Ghana. International best practices from the United Nations Office for Disarmament Affairs emphasize the importance of gender mainstreaming. Now, who is our guest, on the show today? Now, we have as our guest on the show none other person but Mr. Benedict Olalekun Agunloye, right? And he's going to be adding his voice in the discourse this morning as we go engaging together, right? And he is an information personnel, a policy and public affairs analyst, and together, of course, we'll look into these. And it's going to be a smart conversation right there. So I'll best advise that we keep an open mind, open ear, so that when the time comes for us to add our voice to, we'll open the phone line so that you too can have your say loudly and clearly, right, in the arena of the Eagles Outlook as we talk politics and current affairs. Now, somebody's asking the question of what is proliferation? What does it really mean? Now, when they say proliferation of small arms and light weapons, it refers to the widespread availability and circulation of small arms and light weapons which can fuel conflict, crime, and instability. Now, in simple terms, proliferation actually means the rapid spread or increase of something, and in this case, we're talking illegal weapons, right? Some of the examples would be illegal arms trafficking, right? We've seen quite a number of them where we see big, large trucks right there, arms being, consolidated or concealed in certain kinds of cans and all of that, but they've been discovered thanks to the customs and all of that. And we've seen one of the examples would be smuggling of weapons across borders. Yeah, we see that a lot. And uncontrolled sales of firearms. It will amaze you how some persons know how to obtain firearms. In fact, if you ask them, they say they bought it. They bought it from where? And then it's part of it. I mean, uncontrolled sale of firearms. People can just go on a coded level and just obtain firearms unlicensed, and that is yet another unregistered possession of weapons. Of course, I just mentioned that. And the effect of proliferation is increased violence and crime. I mean, you'll see crime spreading like wildfire. You'll see fueling of conflict and insurgency, displacement of communities, economic instability. And can we indeed be wrong to say that maybe, just maybe, some of those effects of proliferation of small arms might also be the reason we are having banditry, kidnappings on the rise, as well as the Boko Haram, situation that we've had for quite some time now? Could it also not mean that this might be responsible for it? I mean, a lot of things are involved in this, and the truth is, should this center, right, indeed find credence, we should be able to have a society that is somewhat rid of some of these very, very big heightened crimes. Honestly, we should be able to see the goodness or the good in it. But what is the center actually called again? Right? Let me get back with it right. Yeah, what is the center indeed called? It's called the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. Wow. Is this the first time that we are putting all of this together? And Nigerians are beginning to ask some questions right there. I mean, a lot of questions, is following all through. Now, will the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons be effective in reducing illegal arms proliferation? The implication would be that the enhanced national security reduces violence and improves public trust. But that public trust has been, eroded for some time now. But what can this indeed be able to bring back the trust or the lost trust, between the security agencies and the masses is the question. And Nigerians are expecting that the center would make a significant impact. But then, can the military sustain its successes against security threats? It is one thing to say that, we are winning the war, we are gaining. In fact, the president was quoted to saying that if the military is able to achieve this lot at the arrest of Sububu, right, and all of that, and these other guys, and of course the hopes that we would have the likes of Bello Tuji, within the military net and all of that. It means that we should feel safer. But can we really feel safer? Because it's almost seeming as though, as one head is being held or neutralized, committed to the ground 6 feet, we have yet another hydra, growing its head elsewhere. And then it makes us always want to ask the question of, hey, are we just looking at the symptoms when we're supposed to get to the very, very, crux of the matter, the very root, and damage, or cut off the roof so that the roots, so that the plant or the tree in itself that has an hydra branch would not be able to have the nutrients to grow. And that would mean going after the sponsors of these, banditry and kidnapping, because Nigerians believe that these are sponsored acts. Look, we don't have a natural disaster. No, you just heard tremors in Buhari, or somewhere in Buhari. Was it in Buhari, in Pape? Tremors, earth tremors, and it has been alluded to the constant mining and all of that going on there. But yeah, we don't have natural disaster. Somebody once said that our natural disaster is bad leadership, it's corruption, and the likes of it, right? But then we have had other initiative by past administration. But let me get with our guest. Good morning and welcome, Mr. Benedict Agoloye.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Feels good to hear from you today.
You're welcome.
Right. So there is an initiative going on. It's called the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. And this initiative is thought to bring succor and give us a feel of safety in terms of how we should handle, or a combined effort in handling the insecurity gaps that we find, or the security gaps that we find in our dear country, Nigeria. But then there are some salient questions that have been out there. One of such questions will be, how will the government address the root causes of insecurity and insurgency when the implication is reduced conflict, improved economic, opportunities, and Nigerians are expecting comprehensive solutions? And it goes down to taking us back to some of the past administration. I mean, we've seen the Obasanjo administration of between 1999 to 2007 establishing the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, and launched the Presidential Committee on National Security. And then moving on to Jonathan administration, 2010 to 2015, we have seen the creation of the Office of the Coordinator of National Security and established the National Security Security Council. That was during Jonathan's administration. Now we've seen Buhari administration now, right, between 2015 right there up until 2023, establishing the Presidential Committee on Small Arms and Light Weapons and launched the National Security Strategy, that is the NSS, in 2019. Now, the President Bola Tinubu administration is right here now, and what it is looking at since 2023 up until now is establishing the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. What are your thoughts on these? I mean, is this not just one initiative going by different names under different administrations, and have we seen light at the end of a tunnel? Have we seen results? That's what Nigerians are asking.
Well, as an opening remark, I would think that when you are solving a problem, you need to identify the cause. You need to make efforts to remove the cause before you now begin to think of any solution. If we need to trace the history of light weapon in Nigeria, I'm sure there would have been some errors in the First Republic, but majorly we knew that at the end of the Nigerian Civil War, there was never any proper documentation of weapons on both sides. So I think that small arms and light weapon became an issue early in the 1970s, immediately after the Civil War. Now when you have weapon and you are hungry, you are close enough to committing crimes. Then of course came the Second Republic, came political thuggery, and then we come into the Fourth Republic and the case has escalated. So we need to ask the question, how do the political thugs get their weapon? If they were given by politicians as alleged, do the politicians account for these weapons at the end of the electoral campaigns? So if those who are bringing in the arms are not stopped, the arms will continue to be out there illegally. We've also have soldiers who go to war, maybe missions elsewhere. I'm not sure anybody screen their luggage when they are back in the country. So which means some guys could have come with extra gun from Liberia, from Sierra Leone, from Somalia, from the different peacekeeping missions. Now, if these things are not so we need to address that. How do these weapons enter into the country? Because those are sources that are germane. Before you now talk about direct smuggling, then of course you have a lot of trouble across the Sahel up till the nation of Libya, and of course the era of the Arab Spring and the post-Arab Spring. So you need to then look critically at how we can manage or ensure that these weapons are not coming in. Because the issue of a national center is talking about managing it. But if you are able to stop it from the source, if they are not entering, then you will spend less time talking about managing. And that's the situation. That's my opinion.
Right.
That any effort that is not focused on stopping the entrance of light weapons into Nigeria is actually not an effort in the right direction.
Let me cast your mind, back to sometime in July of 2024 this year, where the Comptroller General Nigeria Customs Service Bashir Adeniyi narrated how 844 units of assorted rifles, 112,500 pieces of live ammunition, among other contraband, were intercepted at the On Airport, Rivers State, South Nigeria. Now look at the number. A whopping 844 units of assorted rifles, and then 112,500 pieces of live ammunition. And I remember that while this report came out and it was read on this platform, we had Nigerians, family members of the station, coming up to saying that, look, This is good. Well done, Customs. But have we been able to account for these weapons after they've been intercepted? What have we done with these weapons? Is there anybody taking notes, custody of these weapons and showing accountability as to where the whereabouts of these weapons? These are some of the other issues that is believed might be fueling some of the this level of proliferation that is going on in the country. Let me also let you in on the fact that we have had this same initiative going on for decades. From the Obasanjo administration, it was called the National Counterterrorism Center, NCTC. The Jonathan administration, it had the Coordination of National Security, establishment of the National Security Council. Buhari administration, we had the Presidential Committee on Small Arms, Light Weapons being launched, and the launch of the National Security Strategy, NSS. Tinubu administration now is saying National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. Are we not just playing to the gallery now?
Well, like I said, it's doing the same thing almost the same way. Now, intercepting weapon at the port, that's good, right? Mm-hmm. That even tells you that those who are proliferating the arms are bold enough to go through the official port. But we need to now think about those who are coming in through the bush paths, those who are coming in from the open northern border. The Sahel region for me is loaded with failed states, and so ammunitions are going to travel right down from some parts of Europe through the Mediterranean Sea, mm-hmm. and across the Sahel.
Right.
So, like I said, whatever strategy they have been put in place, if you do not address the entrance of weapon into the nation, we will not be doing enough. We've got a lot of ungoverned spaces. We don't have control over a lot of things, and so the campaign should go just beyond a presidential committee or a board, or no, it should be something ingrained in the national security system, in which case you have the intelligence unit across all the military and the paramilitary doing their job at the grassroots level, ensuring that arms are traced to wherever they are and they are withdrawn. Policemen get killed and their weapons are taken away. Do we get them back? Soldiers get killed and their weapons are taken away. Do we get them back? So we need to go beyond window dressing. Sometimes that's what I see commission and agencies and committee doing, or presidential action. Sometimes it's a way of throwing money at the problem. But I don't think it's throwing money that we need at this moment.
Yeah, are you there? Well, he has said that he doesn't think that, throwing money is what we need at this point in time, that we need much more than just going about and throwing money. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Out here.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about community engagement, in this regard? As many have been, if you recall, there's been some talks about having community policing, state policing, and all of that. Is still under debate right there. And we've not really had a conclusive conclusion in that regard, as some states are buying into it. Though some would say that it's a gradual process, it's not something you want to just jump into. But yes, there's a big question that is hanging in the balance now. How will the government engage the local communities to build trust and support? If the implication of this would be improved public trust, increased, cooperation, and Nigerians expecting inclusive approaches.
Well, I think as it stands, the National Orientation Agency is in the process of striking a new partnership and a new agreement that defines the rules and responsibility of the people, as well as the responsibility of the government to them. Maybe when this agreement is formed, maybe when this process percolates to the grassroots, the chances are that there will be an improved trust. But while you are waiting for that, we've got enough military, paramilitary, and security agencies in the nation with intelligence units. So their intelligence units should be able to gather more intelligence, so that we look at the weapons that are produced locally, we look at the weapons that are smuggled into the system, and of course you look at those weapons that filters in through our men who have gone on foreign missions or who have reasons to be outside the country. I don't think we check their luggages when they come back, and we cannot say 100% that some of them do not have weapons that are not officially issued to them.
So
if it's not officially issued to you, the chances are that you are not going to submit it.
So if we say that we don't have an accountability system in the country, would we be right to say so? And should we be right to say so? How far do you think that this new initiative by Mr. President will go?
Well, like I said, the initiative on its own will not solve the problem. It will end up as throwing money at the problem. But if the initiative is able to gather, right, the needed support and the needed traction with all the intelligence units, and of course the National Orientation Agency and other people responsible for community engagement are able to engage the people properly and appropriately, then you discover that mopping up the people will be a process that will be successful. For the committee on its own or the initiative alone will only amount to throwing money at the problem if all those other associated requirements are not added.
All right, let's put it back to your thoughts right there and open the phone lines so that Nigerians can be a part of it. All right, yeah, you can join the conversation as we are looking at the initiative by Mr. President, where, of course, President Bola Tinubu's efforts to enhance national security in Nigeria has been, set, in motion with the establishment of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. The question will be, how far will this go in ensuring that we curb the types of weapons that we have outside, in the society? And what would this indeed allow for effective pruning of the insecurity that we face in the country as it is today? Well, you can join the conversation. 0907-353-0044 is that number to call. The other number would be the WhatsApp portal number, which I would want to say strictly, please don't call the WhatsApp portal. Please don't call the WhatsApp portal number. Just send your WhatsApp message only, or a text message. It will do, not a voice note. Don't send a voice note. Just send it as a text message or a WhatsApp message. Keep it short and simple. Go straight to the point, and we will indeed allow for your voice to be heard. And remember that you can join the conversation on YouTube. Do well to subscribe via the YouTube channel at Eagles FM Abuja, and as you do so, also leave a comment, and you'll be glad you did. And on Facebook as well, you can do the same. Give us a like and a following, even a share or comment if you can, or as you can, because I know you can, at Eagles FM Abuja, and follow across every other social media platform at Eagles FM Abuja. Talking about X, TikTok, and Instagram. Right, let's go just pay a little bit bill. We'll be right back in a short bit. Don't go away.
Get the desired clients for your business and service and get your phones buzzing. From the 1st of September to the 31st of December, you can advertise and reach a large audience with the Eagles FM Ember Months package. Advertise on any of our platforms and get a whopping 30% discount. That's right, 30% discount. For more information, please call 080-591-8658 519-8658 or 081-5791-7278 081-5791 7278. The Eagles FM 102.3 FM Ember Package is a sure way to get in a wider clientele for your business and service.
No AC? No problem. We're cooling you down with the fresh.
Right, it is still Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Yes, we're still talking matters that concern proliferation of small arms and light weapons. And yes, the president has put out an initiative right there that is meant to oversee or look into these issues and bring a standing order of solution, to the insecurity that we face in the country, especially curbing, effectively the spate of weaponry that we have in the society. But yes, our guest has still been none other person but Mr. Benedict Olaleko Agunloye. Please, whoever you are calling the WhatsApp, please stop calling the WhatsApp number. I don't know. Why is it so hard? Okay. Yes. Now, that being said, we'll just jump into taking your calls right now. Please go straight to the point. Keep it short and simple and as much as you can. Let's be civil and responsible. Hello and good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, please.
My name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dawaki.
All right, from Dawaki. Emmanuel, let's get straight to it.
Okay, you see, establishment of a commission that will deal with small and light weapons is a commendable effort by the federal government. But we must be thorough about our crime prevention strategy. First of all, we have to look at the collaboration between the federal government or the national entity called Nigeria with its security agencies. Look at the NSA, the Nigerian police, the military, and the other relevant agencies. What is their collaboration with Interpol in terms of this process? For instance, we don't have a firearms database in Nigeria. Interpol has what they call IARMS. IARMS is a database that empowers the frontline officers. Frontline officers are those officers who are probably at the borders or airports that would check travelers using applications to ensure that arms that are not supposed to enter the country do not enter the country. And
right.
You can only do that when there is an already existing database on firearms and its movement in and out of the country. We don't have that. So instead of going ahead to proliferate the functions of the already existing law enforcement officers, what would have expected was for the federal government to further strengthen and empower the Nigerian police, look at the unit of the Nigerian police that deals with international crimes, and also empower them in terms of checking the movement of arms at the border areas and the airport areas through creating a sustainable database on firearms.
Right.
When we keep on creating institutions upon institutions without empowering the ones that are already existing, there is nothing about checking the movement of firearms that the Nigerian police force does not have capacity to do. It is only because the federal government has refused to train and retrain the Nigerian police force. They have all the units that can deal with that which you are creating a new department that you spend more money without even building capacity, and they're causing more problems for our security situation.
Emmanuel, thank you so much. Appreciate that one. Yeah, Emmanuel right there saying that, look, it's about the data issue, and we do not have a data collection, that promotes, looking into these issues. But yes, the number for you to call would be 0907-353-0044. Whoever you are calling the WhatsApp, please stop or desist from calling the WhatsApp number. Let's just take with the studio number. Yeah, still talking the conversation right now. We might as well want to look, into the aspect of what would be the place of regional cooperation. One thing is said, the database is one, but another place would be the place of regional cooperation. How will Nigeria collaborate with neighboring countries to addressing regional security challenges? Security or regional security reduce cross-border crimes, and Nigerians expect some sort of collaborative effort. And I would like to get into that conversation with with you, Mr. Benedict. Are you there?
Yeah,